months ago, there was a big thing that happened in the industry.
Mm-hmm. 8 months ago.
8 months ago, right? 8 months ago it happened, and it had to do with one of your tests.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I it's really hard to like validate that whole situation to people that are not within the industry,
Mm-hmm.
and the people that were in the industry feel like the test that we have is like the barrier we have. It's what separates us from society. We get tested monthly.
Yeah.
12 months a year. So we're getting all these tests. And what I caught was syphilis, and I caught it at a time where there was two different testing facilities. One was testing for it, one wasn't. And the place that I went to tested it, and I came up positive. But the trick to that was I went to my own personal doctor and got tested before that and was treated. I was expecting a quick recovery, because in this industry that's pretty much standard. You catch an STD, you get a shot, or you take a pill, you lay off work for 7 days, come roaring back. And that's pretty consistent. And that's the situation that I thought I was in as well. But, syphilis was a different animal and it scared a lot of people. There was a lot of ignorance surrounding it. That test, there's two different tests. They give you two tests that look for it and one that knows you already have it. And so the results are different because that's how they print out. I had the test that was still looking for it, and unfortunately it came back that it shows that it was supposed to be still in my system, which it wasn't, because I had been treated. But that's what I'm saying. It's a little medical complicated, but that's basically what it comes down to.
So you had gotten treated for it, but
Right.
then when you took the test, it still came back positive.
Right.
At that point, I mean, what could you have done? Could you have gotten some more treatment and maybe taken the test a week later?
No, I mean
Or has it just become permanent at that point?
No, it's not permanent. That's the thing about it. It's just because the tests we use are sensitive to the antibodies that are taken to actually treat it.
Okay.
So it's like they call it like a false positive. Like if you're taking medicine for something else, for a cold or a flu, whatever. If you're on certain antibiotics and you go and get tested, well, your blood is it looks at that antibiotics, that the antibodies in your system, and reads positive, and that's a false positive, and those things happen.
So you had, but at that point you had the choice to say, okay, I'm going to lay off and continue this, maybe do the treatment again or continue the treatment or whatever. But allegedly something else happened where, and this is where the story kind of gets fuzzy, where certain people accused you of faking the test. You had said that the facility changed the test for you, and so talk about that.
Well, two things happened. I didn't want to disclose on my test the results of that, that really was false positive by this time.
Right.
Because I took the medicine and I laid off of work like we do. I laid off for like 11 days actually.
Okay.
But with this situation, the test that, I needed, I needed one that let me go back to work. I went to the testing facility and I asked them, I said, is there any way we can, because I've been treated and the amount of time has passed, is there any way you can give me a test that doesn't have this on there? And the person the clinician at that testing facility said, no problem. Sat at the computer, did whatever. He said, when the results come back, it'll test for everything, but it won't have all that on your test results. And it won't have that syphilis results. So I was like, cool. And came back, like a day later, and there it was. That was the test. But I never presented that to anybody. I showed that to a certain producer in the industry to show him the difference, to show him that this clinic had also co-signed on the idea that I was fine. That was my way of saying to them, I'm good. I'm good to go back to work. I'm cool.
So the whole rumor that you had photocopied the test and omitted certain things, you're saying that's not true?
No, that's true. Yeah, I was trying to go back to work. I was treated. There was no like, normally there's a doctor in these places, and a doctor will say, hey, this is what you do, or I'll sign off, or your treatment is good, or you know, the thing with syphilis is that there's a number that's associated with it, and it reads reactive. Because of the medicine, it reads reactive, but you've been treated. Unfortunately, they didn't implement the second test till after I went through all my bullshit. So it could have all been avoided. It could have been avoided just by me saying, hey, I got syphilis, and you know, everybody else should get checked out. But it wasn't, it didn't occur to me like that, because my doctors were saying it's a simple bacteria, here's the shot, it's easy to treat, you're good to go.
There was something about the testing facility denying.
Oh yeah.
They said.
They said they never did that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But and you're saying that.
No, it's true. I got the test.
You got the test from them.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so they're lying about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got protected interests. I mean, you know, what it was too. A lot of people were like, "Why are you throwing them under the bus?" I was like, I was just telling you the fucking truth. I'm telling you like what's going on. I'm telling you the steps. Yeah. Most motherfuckers don't even give a fuck. To be honest, they don't care. They just want syphilis. It was rare. It was just something that it was a fluke. You know what I mean? And our testing facilities weren't even. They had two different protocols set in place. One was able to they even said if I came over to them, they would have had a doctor sign off and say he's been treated, he's good to go, he's non-infectious. But they didn't have that shit in place.
Do you know of anyone that caught it from you?
No.
Nobody. So you didn't spread it to a single person?
No, it wasn't even, you know, the problem that went out too was like, you know, cats were quick to throw me under the bus. Right. They were like, you are the reason why the industry shut down, and you are the cause of the outbreak, and you know, and I was like, yo, that's not, I just admitted to this test. I admitted to having this STD, but I also said I got it treated, and I didn't work with anybody and infect anybody. But that's not what they heard. All they heard was, you know, this dude got it, so let's shut down the industry. And I don't think, I'm one dude, man. I don't think this industry will allow me to shut down their ability to pay their mortgage and their child's college tuition. They wouldn't allow that to happen. People were still shooting. The industry never shut down.
Okay, so people never stopped shooting?
Nah, they never stopped shooting. Of course, this industry's too big for that shit. It was also political. It was a Measure B thing going on, and you know, there was the condom law that was going to be voted on. You know, it was just the perfect storm for everything to go to shit.
The timing was bad.
Yeah, for me.
A couple female porn stars spoke out against you during the time. I think Isis Taylor was one of them. A couple other girls that, you know, I can't think of at the time, but
that are crazy.
I mean, how did you feel about the
backlash and
I mean, there's the overall backlash from, you know, society, but you know, but actually hearing it from your coworkers, your female coworkers, I guess. I
mean, I don't know. It made me self-reflect. You know, it made me wonder what kind of person was I to them to have them think that. And I kept thinking, well, maybe I should have been nicer, or maybe I should have been more social or something with them. You know, I didn't have a relationship with Isis enough, and I saw that she was quick to like say things that I like. Okay, I don't even really know you like that. We never worked together, and you know, she came into my office, and I got her bent over in my office, and I'm taking pictures of her and everything, and you know, she was in my office chilling, cool as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about shit, talked about where she was born, where she was raised, how she got into porn. So for me, that was totally taken out of context. It was almost like it was bandwagon. It was like, you know, I'm angry at something, and so I can be angry at him.
You know, you make that fake ass movie and made a fake ass edit and lied about everything that took part, you know what I mean? But you did it to assassinate me.
And believe me, he been getting his worth out of that female. And I heard something about it that in the pre-agreement or nothing that he said he want his titties and that booty back if it go down. He owned that.